pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 254, Insights. Let every voice but God's be still in me. This lesson contains a one-sentence summary of the forgiveness process. When ego thoughts occur, we quietly step back and look at them, and then we let them go. We are not expected to be totally without ego thoughts. It doesn't even say if ego thoughts occur. It does not judge us for having ego thoughts. It simply concisely tells us how to deal with them. Consistently following this simple process will lead us home. The ego thoughts are not our own. Our real thoughts are the thoughts we share with God. We become aware of these thoughts in the stillness of our minds. That stillness is always there. It may be masked by the ego chatter, like white noise masks the quieter sounds in a room. Like white noise, we become so accustomed to the ego chatter that we don't even realize it's going on. Like people who can't sleep if it's too quiet, we become uncomfortable with quiet in our minds. We need to retrain our minds to choose peace instead of chatter, to choose stillness over chaos. We do this through the habit of stepping back and looking at each ego thought and then letting it go. This process of disowning ego thoughts frees us to claim the thoughts we share with God. Here is where our real happiness lies. Here is where we find perfect peace and love that shines on us eternally. Today I will step back and let the voices of the ego pass by and know God's love for me. Today's lesson holds the answer to every problem, every worry, every concern, and every reason we have for not being in peace. If we follow the guidance of this lesson, we will receive the truth about our identity. Ego thoughts will fall away. The sharp-edged children's toys will be laid down. Our fears, which stem from our belief in separation, will dissolve in God's healing light. We will again recognize that only truth is true, and the false stories of this world of separation are not true. We are eternally safe in the truth. We share God's identity. We are eternal love. The process we go through in awakening to the truth includes stilling our minds of ego thoughts. We have been so used to this entertaining ego thoughts that this sometimes seems very difficult to do. But just as any skill improves with practice, so stilling our minds of ego thoughts comes with practice. The more we practice, the easier it becomes. The Holy Spirit is always there in our minds, waiting for our return. We are not aware of God's loving presence until we still our minds of the ideas that are the opposite of God. In God, there is no conflict. In God, there is only peace and love and joy. In God, there is quiet. Love means sharing all with all. Love means union. Awareness of love's union comes through the quiet mind willing to let every voice but God's be still. Today, this is my practice. Seeing ego thoughts for what they are and letting them go is my practice today. Being willing to join with the Holy Spirit's bridge of return is my practice today. In quiet, I practice receiving the truth today. Let every voice but God's be still in me. I was noticing this morning that I was being judgmental of the people around me. It was such a casual, thoughtless process. For a moment, I felt discouraged. Why am I doing this? Then I realized that I have always done this. I just never noticed it. So I thanked God for showing me this habit and took each person to Holy Spirit and asked to see them without the artificial space I had built between us with my judgment. I am so grateful for this process and what it is doing in my life. I am so much happier than I have ever been before. Today, I was very peaceful, even when things kept changing in every meeting I went to. I tend to know most of my trigger points and know which meetings and items of discussion tend to bring more of the ego out in me. So I brought the Holy Spirit into all of my meetings to keep me from thoughts of separation. I was calm. But I also noticed that everyone in the meeting was able to voice their concerns in a calm and even humorous manner. And the points were still made. And everyone was able to see through everyone else's eyes, since many assumptions are made in meetings where little is known and quick decisions must be made. It amazes me every time I turn things over to Holy Spirit how much better things turn out. Better than I ever could have conceived. Pathwaysoflight.org